Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Boomer Bust Podcast. I'm your host, Shoot to Rock, and I'm here with my boy Matt. How we doing today, Matt?
Good, good. Baseball opening day was yesterday. It's a pleasure to finally get back and watch some baseball because it's been too long without it. So, it's always a good time when baseball season is back around. So, doing good, man. How are you? How are you?
Oh, just like you said, baseball's back. That's how we met. Doesn't
Yeah,
get any better than this, Huge baseball
literally.
guys. About to talk a bunch of baseball in this show. I'm gonna be hopefully starting my own little. I'm gonna try for daily little baseball recap thing on Monday. So yeah, I'm excited to talk baseball, and that's exactly what we're gonna be doing today. Today, me and Matt have come up with 9 questions for this season. Granted, like we mentioned, it has already started now, but it's one day. It's fine. So we're gonna go through, each give our answer to these 9 questions, and at the end, give our World Series winner over who in how many games. So that way, in end of October, you can come back to this April 1st podcast and see, oh wow, look, Matt correctly called the World Series. So let's get into it. The first question we have here, Matt, what was your favorite move of this offseason?
Well, I want to let everyone know this is strictly Matthew speaking on behalf of my 1 year of baseball knowledge that I currently contain. So we're just getting back into it, but the biggest move off in the offseason that caught my eye this season was definitely the Philadelphia Phillies. Signing Trey Turner to a massive 11-year, $300 million contract. After winning the NL this past year, a few question marks have surfaced with Bryce Harper's elbow surgery and the potential hangover effects of the deep postseason run that their top heavy like pitching staff had. So it does scare me a bit. Yet lengthening the lineup a little bit and making it more dynamic from a speed and on base perspective with Trey Turner was a huge win in my eyes. Honestly, I like Trey Turner a lot. I think he's a fun player to go out there and watch. So I do like this signing a lot for the Phillies.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's a pretty good one. I had that up there for me. For me, though, I'm going to go with the other NLCS team signing a shortstop. Xander Bogaerts signing 11-year, $280 million deal with the Padres. Really shows the Padres are just continuing to go all in. They got Juan
Yep.
Soto. They traded for him. They traded for Josh Hader. You throw that on
Yep.
top of Manny Machado, who also he opted out but then signed a bigger extension.
Mm-hmm.
They're hopefully be getting Fernando Tatis back, but he's now going to move into more of an outfield role. And
That's
the
what I was thinking, man.
Padres, and the Padres, they showed it last year. They finally beat the Dodgers in the NLDS, so they're going all in. They're continuing to ride that momentum, and I think it's going to take them pretty far in October again.
Yeah, that was definitely a good move on the Padres side. They're just going to keep strengthening that team and make it strong as hell, man.
All right, so then the second question, kind of a little related. So another big offseason move wasn't a guy changing teams, but Aaron Judge last year hit 62 home runs. There was like a 9-minute stretch there where it looked like he was a San Francisco Giant. But nope, he's back
Yep.
in New York. So based off of his 62 home run season last season, what do you think the league lead in home runs will be? And how many players do you think are going to hit over 40? Last year we only had 4. Let me read these off real quick. We obviously had Judge with 62. Schwarber led the NL with 46. And then Trout and Alonso both hit 40, with then Austin Riley hitting 38. What are you thinking for this year?
For this year, I don't know if we're going to touch another 60. I would love to see it. I'd love to see Judge do it again, actually. I think that'd be awesome. But I don't think we're going to get over 60. I could see somewhere around like the mid to high 50s for somebody. But for me, I'm going to be taking maybe not the safe pick in Judge here, and I'm going to select Vlad. I think Vlad's going for 50 this year. I mean, if you just track history, over the past 5 years, dating back to like 2018, only 4.3 actually to be exact, players have averaged to hit over 40 home runs a season, which tend to leans me under 5 players this season will hit more than 40. But I'm going to take Vlad to go over 50 with this one. I think Vlad's going to have a good year back. Guy who hits 300 almost and hits balls out of the park. I like Vlad for this spot.
Gotcha. Well, I am going to be biased. I'm going with Judge again. I believe when I was
Yeah.
looking, his over-under was set at either 45 or 46 and a half. And I'm going to take that over. I think,
Yeah.
he's found a way where he can now stay healthy. I could very easily see him hitting close to 50, if not surpassing that again. I agree. I think 60 is a little excessive, but I could see him very late in the season, be flirting with low to mid 50s. And
Yeah.
total guys over 40. I do like that Vlad pick. You went what, over 5?
No, I'm taking the under
Are you
5.
taking
Under
under
5
5?
players.
Then yeah, you know what? I'm probably gonna join you. I'm thinking under 5 as well. I mean,
Sounds
maybe
good.
we could see a guy like Jordan Alvarez jump up too as
Yeah.
well. But I'm gonna say probably Judge, Schwarber, and then yeah, I'll go Jordan and Vladdy's the other two. Just since like
There we go.
Alonso and Trout were right there, so you know they could maybe
Yeah.
get 1 or 2. All right, then the third one, we're gonna go now over from the hitting side to the pitching side. What, Matt, is either your best pitcher prop for the year or Cy Young pick?
I'll give both real quick. First, the pitching prop. Clayton Kershaw. Pitching prop is set at about 156 and a half strikeouts. It's the name that everybody gets with this guy. They're gonna want to take the over, but he's had back-to-back like 130 strikeout seasons. I don't know why his total's a little higher than it should be. I do think it's more of that name value. I think the Dodgers kind of use him a little too much sometimes too, so I think they're going to want to start, as he keeps getting up there in age, I think they're going to want to start kind of slowly lowering his innings pitch, so I think that will affect it a little bit. But for Cy Young, I'm going to continue to ride, in my opinion, the greatest baseball athlete of all time in Shohei Ohtani to receive the Cy Young Award. It's the straight pick, but what he does on the mound is standalone greatness, and I expect him to continue to improve. He's still so young, and it's the boring pick, but in my opinion, it's the right one.
Gotcha.
How about you? Give me both. You got a prop?
I wasn't really looking too much into the props.
Okay.
But a guy I think really good value on, granted this could go down after his 10 strikeout performance last night, I really like Dylan Cease. The White Sox had a down year last year. They obviously underperformed, didn't achieve expectations. I think there's, they potential with a new manager, get back, in where they're competing for a playoff spot and maybe even make the postseason. And if they're going to do that, they need Cease to be that ace for them. And obviously got off to a great start last night. Could very easily, see him keeping that going. And then in the NL side, yeah, I'm going to go Spencer Strider. I think he obviously had a very good year last year.
Yes, he did.
Could see him keeping it up. Like I said, I think the Braves should be obviously one of the top teams in the NL East, potentially competing for the World Series again. They're not a team that can be taken lightly. And if there's a guy who can lead them in that, it's going to be Spencer Strider.
Yeah, I like that. I like that Dylan Cease pick a lot. He's grown on me a lot as a Chicago Cubs fan over here. I love Dylan Cease. He's just an exciting pitcher to watch, man. It's just fun to watch him. And last night's game was just another classic cease and desist masterpiece. So
I like that.
I like that pick a lot, Derek. I'm actually gonna be rooting for him a lot this year now.
Appreciate it. All right, so now swinging over from the more individual side. Now we're going to go with teams. Who's a team, Matt, that you think is kind of up next? A team similar to like the Orioles last year. They go on a run. They get a lot better this year. They're kind of knocking on the door in the postseason. They're not going to make it potentially. But, you think their over-under here for wins is set kind of low and you like them to go over. Who's your team for that?
Well, you said it. Just like the Orioles last year, I'm going to ride with the Orioles again. Their win total is at 77.5 wins this year. Coming off an 83-win season, which their line was set somewhere near 51, 52 wins last year. And they're definitely and arguably one of the tougher divisions in baseball. But Adley Rutschman's only going to continue to get better. Cedric Mullins continues to be a staple piece of the Baltimore, and the uprising of hopefully Gunnar Henderson should be electric. However, in that division, I do not see them making the playoffs come October. It is a brutal division, but I do think the Orioles could get over that 76.5 win mark, but I just don't think they'll make the playoffs. So I'm going to go with the Orioles again.
I agree. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's definitely a low line, and yeah, I mean that division is a dogfight. So, but I would love to see them, potentially squeak in. But I definitely think
it'd be amazing. Yeah,
76 a little low.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm gonna go the National League, a team kind of similar to the Orioles last year. They got some young guys coming up. I'm going with the Arizona Diamondbacks. They're set at 75.5. I definitely think they can go over that. Corbin Carroll just got called up for them. Alec Thomas has been a really solid player so far in his young career. They got two really good starters in Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly. And honestly, I think that division's kind of getting weaker. Obviously, the Padres and Dodgers are juggernauts. The Rockies are going to be up there for one of the worst teams in baseball this year.
Yes.
And I think, the Giants are definitely regressing. Obviously, took a step back from their crazy 2021 season last year. And I kind of think they're still going to be on the downfall. Like, I could definitely see the Diamondbacks getting third in the West, winning probably close to 81, 82 games.
Yeah.
And maybe they're in there for a wild card like contention, but probably not sneaking in. Then who is that team you think that didn't get in last year? They're going to boom. They're going to make it in the dance this year. Who is that for you?
It's definitely a biased pick, but I think the Cubs can do it, man. It's more of just, the homer pick here, but I think the Cubs have the depth on their bench to be a sneaky team come late July and August. The pitching does leave some unanswered question marks. However, with the recent acquisition of James Tyone and the steady improvement we've seen over the last year or two with Justin Steele and Marcus Stroman, I could see this being a three-headed monster, but that's more bias speaking. But I really could. But the unanswered question here is, will be their relief in closing through the end of the games, which matters a lot for a Cubs team that was top 5 last year in one-run games. So I think that is crucial. So if they can get their relieving and their closing to just be subpar mid, I do think that heavy 3-4 man rotation could carry them a lot. And then you have a lot of guys on the bench that I think, like Morales in AAA, he could easily get called up at some point throughout the season. The acquisition of Dansby. So I'm being biased here, but I do think the Cubs could be sneaky good. I really do.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a biased pick, but honestly, the NL Central is kind of one of the weaker divisions. So
it's definitely up for grabs. Yeah, outside of the Cardinals, but it's biased. But I don't know, man. I don't trust the Cardinals like a lot of other folks do. I don't.
Fair enough. I'm gonna be going to the other Central Division. I'm gonna go with the Minnesota Twins. Obviously they had Correa to that big deal offseason, or last year, but it was kind of known that he was gonna opt out at the end of the year. For a second he was a Giant. For a second he was a Met. Now he's back with the Twins. I think having him locked in that's a big move for that team. I mean, there's just some other guys like Joey Gallo. As much as he was horrible in New York, he performed well in Texas. I think in a small market, he could maybe, get his act back together a little bit. They also got Pablo Lopez in a trade in the offseason to be their ace. So I really like that move for them. And again, that's just another kind of... The Guardians, very young team. Liked what I saw from them last year, but not 100% sold on the fact that they're just this, runaway team with that division. Definitely could see the Twins or the Sox jumping it and either taking that division for them or at least like squeaking out a wild card. So I'm leaning the Twins right now over the Sox. So I'm going to go with the Twins as my team to make it in. Then, obviously, when someone new makes it in, someone else has to fall out. Who's your bust team that you think misses the postseason last year or this year after making it last year?
Well, this just goes perfectly with your saying of the Twins, because my bust team that's not going to make the playoffs this year, in my opinion, is the Cleveland Guardians. They did do a couple acquisitions of first base Josh Bell and catcher Mike Zunino, but they do have some question marks after last season, in my opinion. The Guardians relied a lot on their younger players to perform and outdo their projections from last year. Like, key question marks for that team for me is like Steven Kwan, Oscar Gonzalez, Andres Jimenez. Can those same guys repeat those performances going into 2023? If not, I think they could easily fall out if they don't perform to the standard that was set for Cleveland fans last year. So I think there's a good chance that the Twins or the Sox, like we said, could win that division, but I don't think it's going to be the Guardians this year. I really don't.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm staying in the American League. I'm going with the Tampa Bay Rays. This might be kind of a weak pick considering they were the 6th seed last year. But it's a team, they just they don't make any moves. I know that's always kind of been their MO, relying on analytics, having guys step up. But I mean, if they go through another stretch like last year, they just have so many guys injured, Franco goes down or Rosarena goes down. They're a team that, I think they could slip up, and like I said, I think the Orioles are getting better. Obviously, Toronto and New York are juggernauts in that division. I mean, obviously Boston's not what they used to be, but they're not a walkover. So I'd definitely say in the AL East, being the toughest division in baseball, it's going to be kind of tough for them to get 3 teams in again. So that's why I'm going with the Rays as my team to fall out.
Yeah, the Rays are very analytical driven, and if you get a couple injuries, that bench isn't too deep, and in that division, that scares me. So I like that. That's a good pick.
Gotcha. All right. So then let's run down through here. Give us all six of your division winners.
All right, we're starting in the East. I still trust the Yankees. I do think it will be a close three-way finish with the Jays and, like we said, the Rays, as long as they can stay healthy, not far behind, but I'll take the Yankees. Central for the AL. I like the Twins to make some noise this year. I really do after a disappointing 2022. The West, this is a no-brainer. No one in their right mind should ever pick against the Astros. They've had a stranglehold on that division for what past 5-6 years now. No signs of letting up or something like that. Yeah. So East, you have four legitimate teams, and then you have Washington. So that one, it's tough for me, but I'm gonna go with the Braves. I think it's a safe pick. They did lose Dansby, but I don't think this team will fall that far after a loss like that. Then we go to the Central. I want to say the Chicago Cubs, and I really do, but I'm going to take the St. Louis Cardinals. It's hard when you have Goldschmidt and Arenado, two arguably of the top 15 players in baseball on the same team, maybe top 20. And then for the West, I'm going to go the Padres. Yes, the Dodgers have owned this division for 9 out of the 11 years. I think it's the Padres' time, though. I really do. I don't think we should count out the Dodgers, but I think 3 or 4 games could separate the two, and I'm gonna lean the Padres on this one. How about you? Give me all 6. Please don't fade me too bad.
No, I'm have pretty similar thinking to you. Obviously going with the Yankees in the East. I still think they're the best team. I mean, didn't really make a ton of moves to improve the lineup, but having Anthony Volpe called up is going to be huge. Rodon was a great pickup for the starting rotation. I like them. In the Central, I am going to still go the Guardians. I still think they are the best team. I think they're young. We can get another big season. Plus, they still have guys like Jose Ramirez, who's just an absolute slugger.
Yep.
And, I mean, some solid starters there as well for the Guardians. So I'm going to go with them. Like you said, the West is the Astros. I'm not picking. Last year, I was excited on the Mariners.
Teetered about it a little bit, thought about it.
I was excited on the Mariners, so I did put a bet for the Mariners to win the division. No one's beating the Astros. Until I see someone knock off the Astros, I'm not betting against them. And, I mean, they add Jose Abreu, so they just get even better.
Unless it's the White Sox last night, then I bet
there you go. But, yeah, there's a reason they play 162 games and not win. In the East, I mean, the Mets are going to Met, so I'm not going to pick the Mets to win that division. The Phillies, they have something really good going, but his injuries here, now losing Hoskins for the year, Harper's be out for a while. It's hard for me to pick against the Braves, so I think the Braves is probably the best bet there. In the Central, as much as I want to pick the Brewers, just since they're kind of my NL team, I still think it's the Cardinals. Like you said, Arenado, Goldschmidt. Final year here for Wainwright. Granted, he got hurt yesterday, but Contreras was a good addition. Jordan Walker got called up. So they're a pretty solid squad. And the West, I do think it is the Padres' time. And as much as I want to pick the Padres, then Dodgers won that division by 20-something games last year. I really don't see there being that big of a downturn. While I do think the Padres get better and the Dodgers do worse, making up that many games to be a little difficult for me. So I am going to stick with the Dodgers. And then league MVP here. Question number 8. Who do we like for league MVP?
You can start this one off, Derek. You start this one off.
All right. Well, I mean, the AL, he does unworldly things. Like you said, he's the best baseball player out there. Shohei Ohtani for the American League, obviously. I don't really think, there was a lot of people clamoring for winning last year. But I think he kind of set the bar really high for himself, and now Judge has kind of done that because obviously he's not going to hit 62 home runs again.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time seeing people pick him. And then in the NL, I just said, I don't think the Padres are going to win that division. But I like Manny Machado. I'm going to go with Machado for my NL pick. He's a solid player if he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Machado. How about you?
Great unit around him, too. Yeah, that was my pick, but I'll change it up because we had the same then. I'm going to take Shohei in the AL. And now I'm going to go a little different. I'm going to go Freddie Freeman.
Okay. I
I
like
like
that.
Freddie Freeman on the Dodgers. He's one of the more consistent hitters in the game of baseball we have today. I think he can get it done. I mean, both the Padres and the Dodgers are going to be powerhouses no matter what. So I'm gonna go Freddie Freeman here. I like this spot for him. I do.
I'm trying to think how to do this. No, we'll just do all right. If you want to throw in your wild cards, because maybe one of your wild cards is this long shot team, but who is a team that you would maybe sprinkle a little dough on that could be a long shot to win the World Series? Not necessarily the team you think will win, but like they have a good shot and you like the value on them.
I like the Mariners in this spot.
Mariners, okay.
I like the Mariners. I think they can get there. The team's young. I mean, you got a lot of young guys in that outfield, and they got the pitching to do it in my eyes. I think they do. And what are they at? I'm trying to find it.
They are plus 1,900.
Plus 1,900. Okay, I think that's good values for the Seattle Mariners. I think they were sneaky good towards the end of last year a lot, and I might actually throw a couple bucks on that. 19 plus 1,900. I like Seattle to be my sneaky team to go all the way and win the World Series this year. Julio Rodriguez, World Series MVP too.
All right, all right. Oh, as much as this pains me to say, I'm gonna go Toronto Blue Jays.
Okay.
They're plus 1,200. Obviously, we mentioned Guerrero, but I mean they got some other boppers. George Springer went 5 for 6 yesterday. I mean, Bo Bichette's a really solid guy. I like their closer, Jordan Romano. Really shut down guy. You need a guy like that in the postseason. So I could see if the Blue Jays get hot, the bats keep hitting, but that's a big if when it comes to October baseball.
Yeah.
If they get hot, I think they have the tools where they could potentially go on a run and get it done. All right, so then to walk it off here. So a couple years ago, I don't know how much you follow John Boy, like media and all them. Trevor Plouffe tweeted on opening day, Braves over the Astros in 6 games. That ended up being the World Series. So what is your Trevor Plouffe World Series prediction here that you're going to tweet out? And like I said, tweet it out here April 1st. People might think it's April Fool's Day prank. It's not. This is his actual pick. What are we be able to look back on and see this was Matt's pick? What are we going with?
I'm going to go out of the American League. Give me the Toronto Blue Jays. Give me the Toronto Blue Jays. In the National League, give me the Atlanta Braves. I think the Astros are definitely the best team in the AL, but honestly, kind of getting bored of seeing them there almost every other year. And I think the Blue Jays have the 1-2-3 punch at the top of the rotation with Manoah, Gosman, and Chris Bassett. They got some needed lefty bats that they were missing out on last year with Brandon Belt and he came from the Diamondbacks, Dalton.
Dalton Varsho. Yeah, it was a good trade.
Yes, so I like the lefty bats there. And then for the NL, I think the Dodgers have kind of taken a step back. The Mets, with their age-related risks, who knows? The Braves are just so young and they have so much upside. So I'm going to go with the Braves, Toronto Blue Jays, World Series, and give me the Blue Jays in 6.
Okay, I like it. Oh, man. All right.
It's tough, dude. It's tough.
Tough.
Thinking about it, it is. It scares me a little bit.
It also scares me that neither of us are going with Houston, the defending champs.
Yeah, I know, right?
Call me biased all you want. This is the year. Aaron Judge is locked in. He's a Yankee for the rest of his career. They got the young hotshot Anthony Volpe, similar to like how they had the young hotshot Derek Jeter back in the 90s. Obviously, I'm not saying Volpe's the next year.
That's a big comparison. Okay.
But I'm just saying, similarities between those teams that finally got over the hump. I'm going the Yankees in the AL. They finally slay the Demons, beat the Astros in the ALCS. NL, I'm going those San Diego Padres.
Okay.
I don't know who they beat in the NLCS. They'd obviously, I think, played the Dodgers before then. But I honestly think the Dodgers and the Padres are the 2 best teams in the National League. And I'm going... The chase for 28 is complete. New York Yankees over the San Diego Padres in 6 games as well. I'm going to tweet it out. I don't care how much I get clowned, but like I said, people are going to be able to look back April 1st, shoot the rock, called the World Series, when the Yankees win it all, and oh my gosh, that might be the greatest day of my life. So
there we go. I like that. Cubs will be back there in like 2057. Don't worry. We'll be there.
There you go. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up here for our Boomer Bust MLB season preview. thank you so much to all of you guys for watching. Matt, what do you got to say to the people?
Hit the big red button. Subscribe. Turn on the notifications. Actually, before you turn... No. Hit the big red button. Drop a like. Say something in the comments. You know what? I got a question to the comment section. Give your predictions for two things. One, either the World Series winner, or two, give me the Cy Young Award winner. I want to know. I just want to hear them. But other than that, like, comment, subscribe, and turn the noti bell on, please. Just click it. You'll be notified when we post. Please do. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Boys and girls. I know we always say it, but this time we're legit. We have an episode dropping Sunday with our national championship predictions. I'm going to try to do some more baseball stuff. You know, I love baseball. I also love hockey. Hockey playoffs are coming around the corner. Who knows? You know, we had Inside or Keeping Up with the Association on our last show. Maybe we'll start making some more NBA videos because that's heating up. It's the best time of the year for sports, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah. If anybody cares, we got the PGA Tour coming up.
The Masters. Shoot, maybe we'll have to get some golf picks next weekend.
Get Will in here. That'd be fire. Let us know if you want to hear some golf picks.
That would be fire. So, yeah, this is the place. Any sport, we are going to talk about it. So you want to turn on those noties and stay informed when we're dropping videos.
Always.
Always. Yeah, thank you so much to everyone for listening, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.